Whoa, Sagittarius. I've been excited to read for you all month. And here we are, and here comes the big message. Here comes the big magic. And I pulled out some cards already. I got so many messages for you. But before I share these with you, I actually took a little video of the cards just so that you can see them on the table, because there's something about the visual of the cards and just the way they look on the table. I'm hearing the way they're performing that I feel like you should see if you can see. So I'm going to just insert that clip now so you can just have a look before I begin talking about the messages that I'm receiving. Okay, Sagittarius. So with these cards, Spirit is saying that you've really come to a point on your path where you've moved into a phase of your life that is one of great power. And when I got this phrase, great power, it reminded me of the hexagram from the I Ching, number 34. So that could mean something for you. Or maybe you want to look into that hexagram, or that gate as it's sometimes called. Great power. And so with great power comes great responsibility. And I feel like you've earned this great power of yours. And I feel like for a lot of you, it is like an elevation of your consciousness. It's a settling into your true magic and your true power. There's a line of purity that is running through you that is like clearly flowing in a way that it wasn't before. It has something to do with like your true essence is now allowed to really be known by you and felt, and also shared with others. So this is really important because you're really settling into like this higher, I'm hearing supreme magician energy where you can really create what you want here. And there's something about you sharing your gifts with others, or your knowledge, or just your aura, your energy. That is really important because it shows a certain level of confidence in yourself and trust and faith that you are protected, and that what you do have to offer is so valued and so meaningful. I also got from these cards with Mercury that you have a very clever eye. And we also got the key, right? Clarity, inner calling, and intention. You have a very clever eye, Sagittarius. And there's some kind of trick that you can see. Okay, you can see the sleight of hand. You can see the mundane magician perform his or her tricks with a sleight of hand, fooling a crowd of people who want to be entertained or who are willing to be deceived and tricked just for a momentary release or a form of escape from their current ailments. You, on the other hand, are a divine magician. You're operating on the level of spirit. It's not sleight of hand. What is this? It's a coming together of hands. It's a holding hands. Okay, so whereas the magician does a sleight of hand in order to trick and fool the audience, you are holding the so-called audience's hand, which could be the collective, your friends, your family, on with one hand that you have, and then on the other hand, you're holding spirit. See, this is beautiful. This is you being the channel here, connecting these forces together. The collective, the people, your friends, those who you're helping, your clients, whatever you're doing, or just generally, your lover. It's like you're holding this hand here. And on the other side, you're holding the hand of divine magic, spirit, and source consciousness. And there's no sleight of hand that's happening. It's like you are bridging. Oh, we had so many things for you about bridges in the last few readings. Yes, you're finally finding the bridge, or you're bridging these two energies together. You're a divine teacher. You're a great hope as well for the world. And you may be like, Andy, I don't know what you're talking about. I just have this job that I go to 9 to 5. I got my own little issues. Yeah, we all got our so-called small little lives that we're leading, but we have big spirits. And whoever I'm connecting to today, you have a big, powerful spirit. And you have responsibility to use that big, powerful spirit wisely. And I think that you've earned that, and you are doing that, and you have done that. And there's something that you need to differentiate between your magic and the magic of others. Now, those magicians that are doing their thing, they may elevate at some point from tricks to trust, to truth, from tricks to truth. They may. But it's like I'm watching you watch someone else perform a trick, and you're just sitting there smiling, knowing full well that you can see what's happening clearly. So I got enjoy your sight. I also heard listen to the honest tongue. So if you're hearing lies, trickery, don't take it obviously as gospel or something you need to investigate or something that warrants a lot of your attention. Prefer to listen to the honest tongue. Step into your psychic preference of listening to honesty and divining in truth. I also got that you should maybe think about studying symbols or symbolism or something maybe a little bit more esoteric that could really open up your field of vision for you, for some of you. I also got the message here with lightning that you should show your true colors. There's nothing you need to hide or cloak. This is really like with the autumn card as well. Everything has been brought into harvest. Everything is prepared. You can pick the fruits of your labor, and you should share it with others as you also fulfill yourself with those fruits. And you provide yourself sustenance based on your sustained effort and hard labor, but share them as well. Show your true colors. Yeah. Okay. Now, I don't know exactly what all that means, but you're going to have to decide what that means for you. Is this too loud? I feel like it's a little loud. Okay. And then with the moon here, this is about you being a spiritual antenna. Wow, having a little trouble saying that. Maybe there's a different word that wants to be used. A spiritual beacon, yes, but it's like you can easily put your finger on the pulse of the collective, or your friends, or your family, or your loved ones, or a lover, or even the past, ancestry, or family, or past people in your life. There's something about you touching it, like I'm seeing someone literally, with Mercury here, touching it with your finger, and it's like you can feel the pulse, you can feel the vibration, and just by feeling that, you know what's needed there, what you can offer, and maybe what is no longer important to you to provide for. Like there's some things here where you put your finger on it and you're like, yeah, I can feel the vibration, but I don't think my energy is best spent there. So you take your finger off. But then there's sometimes where you put your finger on, you're like, I know exactly what's needed. And you have exactly what's needed in your arsenal, in your tool bag, in your toolbox. Like you have the gifts to give to the people who need them most. Okay. This is like a very big message, it feels. Okay. What else did I get here? Sustained effort. And then there was like this sidebar message here of something about finding comfort in chaos, but it doesn't feel like that's you. So I don't know what that's about, but someone could feel comfort in chaos, or maybe you're realizing that those around you find a lot of comfort in chaos. Something strange. I'm getting the picture of that street magician now. It's almost like that magician creates the illusion of chaos just so that they can distract, I'm hearing, but also so that they can bring an illusory order back into play. Does that make sense? It's like they concoct an illusion just to come in with the solution and say, look, I brought order to the situation, or now things make sense. It's kind of like a straw man argument, you know, constructing like a fallacy or a weak argument just to disprove it. Interesting. So I feel like there's someone around you, or just in general, there's a lot of people doing this. But you really need to know that you're the divine magician, and this magic is something that can and should be shared at this point. Sometimes when we have this divinity and this access to like real psychic insight that heals others, sometimes we need to cloak that in various points along the path so that we can preserve it or incubate something that we're developing, or so that we could share it with only those who need it at that particular moment. But there's something about you not being scared to shine, to really shine. Inner calling, clarity, intention, the key. You've been called and you answered the call. Okay, and now it's time to listen to the honest tongue on the other side of the line, which is spirit telling you to shine. And I also got this message, you're the visionary of our times. Sagittarius energy, maybe in general, but you are the visionary of our times. Doesn't matter where Sagittarius is in your chart, whoever I'm connecting to, this message is for you. Now, I also got this message here, Swimming Through the Void, and I know that's the name of a tarot channel. I've seen his videos like once or twice, so maybe there's a video in his channel for you. I don't know his name, but that's the name of the channel. But that line, Swimming Through the Void, it also comes from a song by the band System of a Down, their song Aries. I don't know if that's how he named his channel after that lyric. I'm not sure. Or if it's part of something larger I just don't know about. But the lyric is important here, and that's swimming through the void, we hear the words. We lose ourselves, but we find it all. So there's some space I feel like you've been through, or that maybe every now and then you dip back into. You put your finger on the pulse of humanity and the collective to find out what's going on in the collective unconscious, or just like what's transmuting, what's transforming. Or you put your finger on the past to see what other people are up to these days. It's very psychic, okay? And then you dip your toe into this watery void space. And this void space isn't like a negative place. It's a place of the subconscious. It's the place where we hear words. We hear the words, we lose ourselves, but we find it all. We hear things from spirit, that honest tongue. We hear the words, but we lose ourselves, which means like we lose our ego, we lose our identity, we lose trying to apply meaning to everything, and we just take in the truth of the words, and we hear the resonance, the voice of spirit speak to us, our own voice, our higher selves, and then we find it all. We find all the answers. This is like, I love it. I love it, Sag. I hope it's helpful for you. It feels a little meta. It does. It feels like a big, like, message. And maybe even one, yeah. Well, yeah, it feels like, how do I say that? A container, I want to say. This message, like, let this message and the affirmation that Spirit is giving you be a container for all of the things that you are facing in your life, all the troubles, all the worries, all the fears, all the frustrations, all the obstacles. Let this message be a container that holds you secure and lets you know that you are on the right path, that you're protected, that you've arrived. You've already gone through something. You have this access here that Spirit wants you to use, this great power. Okay, Let's get in and see what else we get, Sag. Oh, I also saw something. This was my little picture of, I can actually draw a little bit, so don't take this as like an example of my skill, but that's supposed to be a little camera. So there's something about maybe someone being a photographer, something about maybe this is the vision, like you see the world through a very particular focal length or lens. We also had a whole message about the dark room and photography come up. So maybe photography in general is a good metaphor to think through the way that you use your psychic abilities and your psychic sight. You know, there's different lenses with different focal points. There's lenses that have like, well, let's not get into a photography lesson, but lenses where you can see more of the surroundings and less of something in front of you. You know, yeah. So what are you focusing on these days, I guess is the question. What are you focusing on and how are you framing your sight? What are you deciding not to put in the picture, and what are you choosing to elevate and to elaborate, I'm hearing, in your mind? Where's your focus? It's a very wordy message. Okay. Maybe there's something about drawing that you want to take up too. Illustration of some sort. Okay. Let's see the energy supporting you, dear Sagittarius. Ooh. Who had this? Aries. It came out for Aries too. Fear. In a different deck. Look at this portal, this gateway, this door to fear. It's in your supportive position, so this is good. Tell me more about this, Spirit. Okay, well, let's move to the challenge. Energy. Well, fear is a zapper, a zinger to your energy. Oh God, these cards even look good here too. It's like all the colors are coming together. There's something very powerful about the way this looks. Something about the way that you see things. Like you just know when something's powerful based off the energy it's giving you, like the vibe it's giving you. I don't know. I do this a lot with tarot. It's like before I start the reading, I take out the deck and I do like a spread for myself just to get my own energy out of the way and sometimes to see how the cards are talking to each other. Do they want to talk together today? Does this oracle deck want to get along with this tarot deck today? Are they on the same frequency or not? And I'll like put them all out and see. And sometimes I'm like immediately I'm like, yep, they're talking to one another. And sometimes it's like, no, they're on total different wavelengths. So maybe if you're a reader, that's something you want to think about doing is like matching like the right frequencies together of the different decks. Or this could be about something else, but it's like as soon as something comes together, you'll know right away that it's powerful. For some of you, this is a union, I'm hearing. Magic. A magical union. Yeah, it's magic. I don't know. I want to show you again, guys. I don't know if this is even going to work. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about that visual that you need to see. This is like a very informal reading I feel we're having today. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Andy. Yeah. Okay. If you're coming back, I love you guys so much. Thank you for just being here and holding space for me to do what I do and the way I do it. I'm hearing liberation. It is liberating for me to read in the way I do. And perhaps there's something you need to liberate for yourself as well. Show your true colors. If you're kind of like an impromptu person that embraces a little bit of mess, comfort in the chaos. Maybe that's it. Like I'm comfortable with things not being in perfect order all the time. Show that. Don't try to be something you're not, obviously, but this seems more, it has to do with like your powers. Okay, you could feel like, oh, this is how you're supposed to read tarot, or this is how you're supposed to divinate, or this is how you're supposed to do photography, or this is how you're supposed to write a book, or this is how you're supposed to have a relationship with someone. It's like, no, just open up and do as you feel guided to do. For some of you, you're having a very unconventional situation in your life. For some of you, it's a living situation. Others of you, it's a partner. Okay, maybe some of you have some kind of like 5D ether connection with someone. I don't know. Or there's something that you're doing that's very unconventional and it's true to you. And so don't worry about what others are saying about it. You're following your inner calling. Okay, let's go further in with fear. What is this fear all about? I feel like in the strength position, Spirit is saying you've recognized your fears and hopefully you've worked on them or you are working on them. Contemplation. Yeah, you're contemplating what it is that holds you back and sometimes leads you astray. I like this image here too because he's going into the void. Swimming through the void, we hear the words, we lose ourselves, but we find it all. So this is interesting. Because I feel like there's a lot of emphasis here on the different sensations like touch, sight, speaking, hearing, vibration, all of those things. And it's like here Spirit's saying you had to kind of like go inwards, obviously, but rely more on the words that were said to you rather than what you could see in a particular situation. Or maybe you had to develop a different psychic ability in order to release yourself from some kind of fear that you had. Sagittarius, you realize that you do not need to fear something anymore, or there's nothing to fear here but fear itself. And it is so important that the visionary of our times, you, does not lead through fear or by fear. And so it's important that you confront, acknowledge, and learn, understand what it is that you fear so that you don't go forward manifesting that frequency and energy more and more. So hold on, something's happened here. Like quite significant, some fear that you addressed. Patience. This fear could have been about something taking a long time or it's never going to happen. That could have been the fear itself, or perhaps you had to sit in a long period of time where fear kept popping up over and over again. But now you can spread your wings. There was also someone around you at some point who was incepting, I'm hearing. Kind of like the movie, maybe? Incepting fear. Remember that spinning top in the movie? Spoiler alert. So in that movie, he's like layers and layers and layers into the subconscious. And sometimes it feels so real. He's not sure whether he's in reality or whether he's lost himself in the subconscious. And that can be scary and fearful. You can be fearful in that moment. So he takes this little top he has and he spins it. And if it keeps spinning and never falls over on its side, then he's trapped in the subconscious world, in his subconscious mind. Interesting. Hold on. I want to keep going with this because there's a message here. And in that movie, there's an architect that has built this world, and it's not him. It's somebody else who builds that world. And when fear starts to come in to his mind while he's in this world, the world starts getting chaotic and crazy, and things start to fall apart. So I want to say, Sagittarius, that maybe at some point you were finding yourself in a world that was not of your creation. And every time you brought your truth into that situation, it began to crumble and fall apart. But you're out of that now. Okay, you're out of that. You're awake. You're not in the dream state. You're awakened. This is why you have to show your true colors, because you're now the architect. You're the creator of the world. And maybe, metaphorically, the creator of others' worlds too, if you're providing guidance or healing or anything like that. This is interesting. I hope this is making sense. I know I say that a lot, but really, sometimes I'm like, what is happening? What are we talking about? Element of earth with energy. That top that he spins is like grounding himself, right? It falls over, gravity. It falls over and he's grounded in reality. And it's like a big whew, I'm not in somebody else's constructed world. I'm going to watch that movie tonight, I think. Okay, so the challenge is you need to ground yourself a little bit more. Maybe go out and put your feet in the grass, on the ground. That's a real thing. Okay? There's electromagnetic forces that come from the earth that really do something to us physiologically and psychologically. I just got a message here. I forgot to put on Do Not Disturb, but somebody just commented about crows. So that could be important. Let me just put on Do Not Disturb. Something about 8 or 8 o'clock could be significant. Oh yeah, and then the image that I chose here, well, the music I chose, the image for it was this magical little crow. Okay, let's get back on track. I'm just so comfortable with you. Awakening. Yeah, that I just feel like chatting, but we'll get into the reading. Some of you maybe want to burn some incense in a well-ventilated space, but maybe you want to burn some incense here. Two more for Sagittarius spirit. I'll put all the names of the decks in the description box below. Tell me what's going on here. Let's go in a little bit more. Maybe we need to ground the reading a little bit. I mean, it's been kind of out there. Let me just put this here. Tell me what's up for Sagittarius. I think I feel so comfortable in your energy all the time because of my Sag stellium that I have. Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus in the 3rd house. And South Node. So I love you guys. You're my South Node peeps. You've taught me a lot, in other words. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, I love it. I'm just going to jump right to it. What's going to manifest in the next 3 months for you? The Wheel of Fortune. Then we have the Hierophant. See? You are the visionary of our times. This is what this means to me right now. You are the visionary of our times. You are turning the wheel. Oh, look, and it's like, this looks like the I Ching there. Or the I King, I Ching, I King. That's what it looks like. Yeah, maybe that's something you want to get into or look up. There's also something about the core of an apple being important. The core, when you cut an apple in half and you see the core, it's actually a 5-pointed star, which is really cool. And, you know, the 5-pointed star represents all of the elements plus spirit, and apples represent knowledge and wisdom. So the seat of our knowledge and wisdom comes when we work with all of the elements and spirit. And that's what the divine magician does. He or she uses all of the elements that are presented on the table. Or they. Okay, so you are creating a shift here in consciousness, I feel, like in a big way. The Tower, in a big way. It's a little bit of a shakeup. Maybe that's what you're doing, the comfort in the chaos. Other people are going to feel a little bit chaotic with the changes, with the shifts, with the revelations, with the knowledge. And I am seeing that somebody here is like, there's a particular love, soulmate connection you have, and there's something about their consciousness shifting and changing. Okay, that if that doesn't resonate, don't take it. But I feel like with the 7 of Cups in reverse and the Tower, it's like you're clearing up some confusion in somebody's or a bunch of people's state of mental chaos. You're providing some level of comfort, and it comes from your like authority. And the authority you hold, again, it's not like egoic authority. It's just you're solid. And you're generous and you're kind, and you've swam through the void over here to lose yourself, to find it all, to find all the answers here. You've lost your identity momentarily, right? Momentarily. You released all of those ego attachments and then came back up, touched what you needed to touch with the hand of Mercury to feel what was going on. And now you are settled into your inner calling. Now, I do have to say here, as great as all, I'm hearing gravy as all this is, this card also talks about not being foolish, like not thinking that you're done. You're never done. There's always more work to do. There's always more to learn. There's always more to grow. There's always another layer with this egg here, another layer to explore, another egg to crack, something to birth. The white snake I'm seeing. Interesting. White snake with the pearl. So the real work actually begins now for you, but it's not going to feel treacherous if you follow your inner calling and if you listen to the honest tongue of the divine. Yes. So I also feel like something is happening, unfolding. My ears are getting pressure there with the Tower. This could be in society or like in your personal life. And 5 of Cups. And it's going to be perhaps a little disheartening or a little bit discombobulating. And it's very important that you stay solid, stable, firm with the King of Pentacles in your knowingness that you are on the right track and that you know the things that you know for a reason. You don't just know the things you know just because. You have access to this knowledge. You have all these gifts for a reason. So what is the reason? Maybe that's something to ask yourself. Yeah, okay. So when a shakeup happens here, and I'm being reminded, that I get reminded of this reading often with you. I think it was a Sag reading. I may have turned it into a collective reading. I don't remember, but it was called the hailstorm, something about the hailstorm. I'll put it in the box that pops up here at the end of the video. I'm being reminded of that reading, which I think I did last summer, but right before Lionsgate, around that time. So there's some kind of shakeup coming, and I think it started back then. I'm seeing something like shake, like kind of like an earthquake. Hopefully not, but it's like some shakeup here, and you're gonna have to kind of be the one who reminds yourself and others that They're waking up. Okay, they're waking up. I'm getting that image of that movie again. It's like they're in someone else's constructed reality. And this shakeup introduces their own fears. And because of that, everything starts to crumble. And it's what they need to realize that they've been in some construction, some illusion, watching some magician with a sleight of hand, escaping the truth. And they're going to need somewhere to turn, Ace of Wands, and it's going to be you. And I feel like High Priestess. I feel like it's going to be you whether you really want it or not. It's coming your way because you hold the great power. Does it make sense? Maybe I should watch this back. Okay. The Seven of Wands for your current energy. Tower and the Hierophant again. So like in your day-to-day, on a daily basis, you could feel like you really have to like stand up for yourself, or you really have to defend what it is that you're doing all the time. Or maybe there's a little bit of like, you want to share everything with everyone. I don't know. It's different than the energy we've been reading on. This energy is like, feels a little bit attacked at times. And Spirit wants you to remember that that's just an experience in the Matrix, really. How do I say that in a less like frou-frou way? That's don't let that stop you. Don't let those attacks that you may experience create fear in you. Because people who are visionaries, who are leaders, who are introducing people to thoughts and gifts and stuff and knowledge that is unfamiliar to them, or, you know, creating some psychic insights in those that they already know, oftentimes you will find resistance because people like to hold on to the structures that make them feel safe and secure. And with the Hierophant coming out, I feel like there's a way that you could use your divine magic while still maintaining reason. Grounding the knowledge into useful information, useful guidance. Giving people actual tools to do something with. So perhaps you're like a therapist or a teacher, or I don't know, you work with children on some level, and you have all these spiritual concepts and spiritual knowledge, and these are like really big and abstract ideas. And if you were to communicate this to people, they'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? You're off in la la land. And you need to find a way to translate what you know magically, psychically, energetically, and spiritually into concrete advice. And that can be very difficult. But don't worry about it's more important that you provide something of use than appearing to know it all. Okay, that's for someone. We have the Six of Pentacles for what you don't see coming. Tell me more about this for Sag. The Tower. Something is playing right into your hand. The magician on the street might think that they're rolling in the dough and making all the money, and everyone's eyes are on them. The magician might, it could be metaphorical, it could be another person in your relationship, it could be anyone, right? But they think that they're the ones who are more significant, more important, more influential in some way. But it's actually their inevitable trickery and the downfall that comes from their trickery that guides people to you. I don't know how else to say that. So this is maybe why you're watching this magician kind of smiling, knowing that it's part of the process. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like that force is working for the divine unknowingly, creating something that will ultimately wake people up. Your opportunity, the 5 of Wands. The 9 of Cups. It's to get people around you to see the long-term vision and to realize if what they're fighting for now, or the internal conflicts they have within themselves now, are leading them closer to their path or not. There's also a message in here. It's kind of complicated, but part of your path is to show people how certain conflicts have led them closer to where they need to be, or are leading them that way. Right, and therefore there's nothing to fear here. I'm getting something like there's no need to fear the conflict so long as you have a resolution. It's the eternal conflict that is scary, the one that goes on and on forever with no resolution, but you have the knowledge to bring in resolution. Okay, Knight of Swords for your challenge. Yeah, this goes back to the 7 of Wands energy. It's like there's something like ego here, I have to say. It's kind of like you just want to say something the way it is, or things could trigger you at times, and you just kind of step out of your higher self for a moment and put someone in their place, or do something kind of erratic or spontaneous, or that Uranus energy comes in and it's like, I don't know what you do here, but it feels a little out of control at times, or there's a desire to react. And Spirit says, what do you say here? 3 of Pentacles. That's not going to get anybody to see things your way. You are a person of authority. You do have great power. And so you really need to embody that on multiple channels. I'm hearing multiple channels of where you express your energy. Become who you are in all aspects of your life. Page of Swords for your advice. This is you peeping on something, understanding something, learning something new. What are you doing here? The Empress. Hey, Queen of Pentacles. I feel like this is you realizing how you're showing up in the world to yourself and to others, and understanding the influence that you do actually have and how you could use it to help others create the realities they want to create too. You're creating a huge shift here. Yeah. Let's get one more card on the Wheel of Fortune, and then I'm going to go into an extended Sagittarius. Very curious to see what's going to happen in the extended. I hope this reading is helpful for you. If you're interested in extended, the link for that is in the description box below. Yeah, look at this. Next 3 months, especially the Lionsgate portal, 888. Big energy of shift and change coming in. It's like you're taking that Uranus energy that you had before here, of like creating some kind of huge change on a large scale, unpredictable change. You're taking that from like some, how do I say that properly? Some reactionary behavior you had to people around you, and you're elevating it to a spiritual plane in which you're creating this unpredictable, revolutionary shift in consciousness at a rapid rate. It's like as soon as you stop doing that and reacting or lashing out or, you know, just engaging in drama or feeling like you always have to defend yourself and all of this stuff, as soon as you like settle that out within yourself, you elevate that same energy, you transmute it into something much more useful. Okay? For the collective and for yourself. Okay, Sagittarius. I want to pull out one more card actually before we go into the extended. What is it that you want to say? Adversary. Hard work, diligence, and progress. Yeah, I feel like you fought long and hard to address all your inner adversaries and understand what it is they're trying to teach you. And you're also understanding that the adversary, the person who seems like an adversary, or the energy that seems like an adversary, is actually like a rock in a river that's getting the water and the energy of the people around you, or the people in general, to flow in your direction. All right, Sag, that's what I have for you. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.